Hey, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been a little bit MIA. I've been busy with the imagination station and just work and a lot of other stuff in general and the holidays. So I'm going to be meal prepping right now for Cody, but at the same time I'm going to be cooking dinner. So I just want to show you guys like what the process is. I'm technically going to be making 3 things at one time. Prepping dinner, doing 2 different types of meal preps, Cody's turkey and his veggies that he wants, and then I'm going to do a rump roast. So come on. Since the rump roast is the easiest but longest part of this process, I'm gonna go ahead and get my crock pot down, get the meat prepared, and then show you guys the next step. Okay, so I went ahead and got my ingredients gathered here in front of me. First I picked up the beef from Sprouts. It was $12.86 for this. And for 2 people, I'm pretty sure this is gonna feed us for a few days. Then I went ahead and picked up from Target some chicken broth in place of the beef broth. The recipe also calls for 2 garlic cloves minced, carrots, but instead of carrots I'm using celery and zucchini, small potatoes, which I do have small potatoes, black pepper, salt, and balsamic vinegar, dried rosemary, dried thyme, and for that I'm just going to use Italian seasoning, which is literally just this. Also from Sprouts. So let me go ahead and get these veggies all chopped up and get them ready to get into the pot. Alrighty, so first starting off with the zucchini, I went ahead and washed these already. I'm just gonna cut off the ends and I'm gonna leave the skin on. So let me just cut out the ends on this. And then I'm gonna just roughly chop these. So I'm gonna cut it in half. And then I'll probably just, let's cut it in half again. So in half once more, and then just kind of big-ish slices. That wasn't very half, but it's okay, just rough chops. Next, we're gonna go ahead and mince our garlic. So for me, I personally love garlic, so we're gonna do more than just the 2 cloves that it recommends. All right, so now that we have them all peeled, we're gonna go ahead and mince them. And I didn't use the whole clove. I have some on the side here. That's because I'm still gonna make steak later on, so I'm gonna need some of that. Now we're just gonna add our garlic to the plate here. It's all gonna get thrown in together, so it doesn't really matter if it gets mixed up. And lastly, we're gonna go ahead and wash and then cut up our celery. Alrighty, so now time to give it a nice rough chop. So take off the ends there. This end seems fine, and then I'm gonna do some pretty decent sized chunks, since it's gonna be in there for a good 8 hours. And I'm so excited, especially because it's cold right now. What are your favorite meals to eat in the wintertime? Let us know down below. I know typically it's a lot of like soups in the wintertime. I like to mix things up. We have been eating a lot of chicken recently. And actually when we went to Sprouts, I'm not too sure because we don't watch the news, if there's some kind of like chicken shortage or something going on, but our Sprouts didn't have any, and they actually had signs posted like, thank you for being patient with us right now, enjoy some of our other meats. And I was like, oh, well, I like beef too, so I guess we're gonna be eating some red meat this week. Next step in the process says to pat dry both sides of the rump roast and then sprinkle it with salt and pepper on both sides. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up. Throw it onto the paper towel. And this is a 1.84 pound piece of Angus beef rump roast. I'm gonna go ahead and take the paper towel and start to pat this bad boy dry. Now that we got it nice and dry, we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle the salt and then pepper. To go ahead and give it a little bit of a rub. Flip it over. Add some more salt, some more pepper. Again, going in with a little bit of a rub. Then we're gonna throw this bad boy into the pot. So this is the crock pot that I'm using. And I'm just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna plop that bad boy in there. Then the recipe calls for all the vegetables and basically everything else that we're gonna need for this pot roast. So here's my plate of vegetables. I'm gonna just dump the whole thing in there. The recipe also calls for mini potatoes, so I went ahead and picked up the yellow Dutch mini peewee potatoes. I'm just gonna throw them in there too. And then I just wanna go ahead and make sure you can still see that meat. You're gonna just move around the vegetables so the meat can also be exposed. Maybe lift it up a little bit. There we go. That's better. We're gonna go ahead and expose the meat like this. Okay, so next it asks for 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. So I have my Sprouts balsamic vinegar here. So yummy. And then 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. And then it says a tablespoon of dried rosemary. Again, I don't have just dried rosemary, I have Italian seasoning. So for that, I'm just gonna put a generous amount. Because you want your food to have flavor. The recipe also asks for a tablespoon of thyme. And again, I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna throw some in there. And lastly, it asks for 3 cups of beef broth. Again, I have chicken broth with less sodium. So we're gonna go ahead and just do 3 cups of this. Whoa, 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 whoa. And then lastly, it says go ahead and just cook for 8 hours on low. So that's what we're gonna do. As you can see, 8 hours on low, and we're gonna let it do its thing. Have fun. Okay, so for his meal prep, Cody asked for turkey with little potatoes that we just used for the rump roast cut like in half, and then with asparagus. I don't know how that's gonna taste, especially because he's asking for it to be tried with the Cajun 2-step seasoning. Never used this before. It has salt, garlic, onion, bell pepper, and jalapeno dehydrated, paprika, sugar, lemon flavor, and other spice extractives. So I mean, it definitely smells lemony and Cajun-y. What I'm probably gonna do is throw his ground turkey into a glass bowl, mix it up with that, and then cut the potatoes and the asparagus and do that on the side. So for his turkey, Cody picked up this natural, all natural, no antibiotics ever ground turkey breast that's 99% lean, 1% fat, 26 grams of protein from Sprouts. It was on sale, so normally $7.99, and he got it for $5.19. So it is what it is. Let me open up this package. Okay, so we're gonna open this bad boy up, and I'm just gonna take the whole thing, plop it right into my bowl here. And then with this seasoning that I told you about, this is a seasoning up close. We're gonna experiment in how much I'm gonna throw in here, so let's see what feels right. I just hope it's not too salty either. Let me try to mix it and see what the color looks like. And it smells pretty good. Maybe just a little bit more. Hopefully that'll do it. I don't want to overdo it either. Okay, I'm gonna mix this, set it aside, and cut up the potatoes and the asparagus. Okay, so for the asparagus, I'm thinking of cutting them up into like 3 pieces and just chopping off the ends. Because again, he wants them mixed with potatoes. So cut off the end, and then 1, 2, and we'll just do it like this. So this is what I prepped for Cody's meal prep. I'm gonna leave it at this. I do have some asparagus still, but we're having dinner tonight, so I'm just gonna cut off the ends and put them in a baggie, and then I can make them closer to when Cody's gonna come home. In addition to his asparagus, Cody also requested to have the little potatoes that we used earlier halved. So I'm gonna go ahead and have some potatoes. These are all the veggies chopped. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw the meat into the pan. So this is the pan I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until it heats up, throw a little bit of olive oil in there, and then get it cooking. Alrighty, so now that the pan is nice and hot, let's throw in the meat. And then because potatoes take the longest to cook, I'm also gonna throw in the potatoes already with the meat. Again, this is just an experimentation because this is what Cody asked for, so we'll see how it comes out. I also just rough chopped some garlic and threw it in here. So now we have potatoes, the turkey with the Cajun seasoning and garlic in the pan. Okay, so just like the rump roast, I'm gonna go ahead and take the boneless Angus beef New York steak. It's 1.42 pounds, 2 pieces for $14 that we got at Sprouts. I'm gonna go ahead and dab them off with a napkin and season them this time. Normally I use like salt and pepper, or I'll use the Kinder's buttery blend, but today we're gonna try the steak blend by Kinder's. I haven't tried this one yet. It did look pretty good and Cody wanted to try it, so let's dab these off. So we're gonna go ahead and give these pieces of meat a couple of dabs off with a paper towel to get most of the juices off. Then flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. So I'm prepping my meat already and seasoning it. So again, when Cody comes home, or as it gets closer for him to come home, this will cook so fast. You just put it on high heat with a little bit of butter and some garlic. And if you have time, some thyme in a pan on high heat. And you just go ahead and sear it on both sides. And then just baste it with the butter in the pan. I don't know if I'll record that part for you guys. We'll see, just depends on time. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let these sit in the fridge saran wrapped with some of the seasoning on them. So let me go ahead and season these bad boys up. And you always wanna generously season your meat, or else it's not gonna have any flavor. You should not have to use A1 sauce. That is a sin. And then again, I like to massage my meat, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Season on both sides, rub it in. And then once we have them all nice and seasoned, I'm just gonna wrap them up. And voila, put them in the fridge. And wait until Cody's about 30 minutes out, and then I'll throw these in the pan. Now on the flip side of things, we're gonna go ahead and throw the asparagus into the turkey and potato mixture and see what happens, or how it tastes. I just tried a little piece of turkey, and to me it lacked some seasoning, so I just added more. And I'm gonna add a squeeze of lemon in here. It just feels very dry to me. So hopefully, like with the Cajun and the lemon, it's a little bit better. Okay, let's try a little bit of this and see if it made it better or worse. I think the lemon made it better. I don't know, I don't want to add butter because we're trying to keep this healthier. We already did olive oil. And this was Cody's request again, so I don't want to mess with what he had in mind too much. So we're going to let it keep continuing to cook for a little bit, and then we'll plate it. And then you have it for Cody's meal prep. So I was able to make him 2 of these containers. He's probably going to put Louisiana hot sauce on it, to be honest. So maybe that'll save it from being kind of dry. But now I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Wait until it gets closer to the time that he comes home. Right now our roast still has 6 hours and 45 minutes to go. So it's going to do its thing. But yeah, see you guys when I cook the steak. So a few hours have passed by now. About 2 to be exact. Let me update you guys on the rump roast. Actually, I lied. I don't know why I thought this was set for 6 hours. I forgot it was 8. So it's almost been 4 hours. And this is the progress. I wish there was smell-o-vision because it smells so delicious. But it is now 12:10, which means Cody is on his way home. So we're gonna start prepping the food so that when he gets here, he gets served a nice hot meal. I'm gonna go ahead and throw into the air fryer the potatoes and the asparagus that I prepped earlier, already with some garlic powder, a little bit of garlic salt, and a tiny bit of olive oil. I'm gonna throw these into the air fryer and then probably wait maybe another 10 minutes until I start cooking the steaks, just so that they have enough time to rest as well. Alrighty, air fryer is going. I'm gonna cut up some garlic and peel it and get it ready for the pan. Alrighty, so it's about 12:20, which means Cody should be home in roughly 20-25 minutes. I went ahead and peeled some garlic here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a slit in them so that a little bit of the juices can come out into the butter. We're gonna let the pan get very hot, throw some butter in there, throw the garlic in there, let it take all of the garlic flavor, and then we're gonna continue to baste the steak and throw them in. So let's go. Alrighty, so we're gonna get a decent sized scoop of butter. Throw it in that pan. Then we'll go ahead and throw the garlic in. And let that buttery garlic flavor get infused all over the pan. Alrighty, now the pan is mostly marinated with that butter and garlic. We're gonna go ahead and take one of our steaks and put it in gently. Always away. And then let's go ahead and throw the other one in. Gently away. Now you do want a decent amount of butter in here for the basting, so we're gonna throw in a little bit more. We want a nice hard sear on these. So once we get that on the bottom, we'll go ahead and flip them over. Ready? Let's give it a flip. Away. It's a pretty good sear. Oh, that's a good one. And just keep basting it with the flavor. We're gonna go ahead and pull out the meat and let it rest. Yummy. So you let it rest for a minute so all the juices can absorb, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut it. While we wait for the meat to cool, we're gonna go ahead and plate the potatoes and the asparagus. And these are just coming out of the air fryer. And now we cut into it and plate. Just what we like to see. Medium rare. Yummy, I'm so excited.
I'm home now. Thank you for cooking. This steak looks delicious and salicious. And here's the final product. What a beautiful, beautiful plate. And this is what I get to come home to. So, you best believe I'm the luckiest man alive. So we're gonna devour this.